Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will discuss the restoration of political parties and end of martial law. Before to discuss the restoration of political parties and end of martial law, we would like to discuss the background and the question how the political parties were restored during the regime of Zia-ul Haq. So these are the this is the questions which we will answer when we go in detail. So if we remember, the Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was executed on 4 April 1979. So nearly 3,000 PPP, Pakistan People Party supporters, were jailed and many imprisoned for the next decade. So after that, a long series of procession was started up during that time, and the political parties were also start their meetings against the Zia-ul Haq. The first stirring of a significant opposition movement against Zia's regime arose in February 1981. Then 11 diverse political parties form a coalition called Movement for the Restoration of Democracy, in short MRD, to pressurize Zia's regime to hold election and suspend the martial law. So there were 11 diverse parties which were included Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's PPPs, like that the Awami Tehreek, JUI, NAP, National Awami Party, NDP, National Democratic Party, the Pakistan Mazdoor Kisan Party, PMKP, PML, Pakistan Muslim League, PNP, the Qomi Mahaze Azadi, and Tehreek-e-Istiqlal. Many of the parties in the MRDs were formerly antagonistic to each other but become united in opposition to Zia. So the MRG, what were the demand of MRDs? The MRDs immediately initiated a campaign to pressurize Zia to suspend the martial law and restore democracy. Suspend martial law and restore democracy. This was the first demand, and after that, the second, they issued a press release calling for free, fair, and impartial election. This was the another demand, calling for free, fair, and impartial elections. But when Pakistan Airlines plane was hijacked and landed in Kabul, Afghanistan, the hijackers belongs to a group known as Al Zulfikar, which was led by the Bhutto sons, Murtaza Bhutto, which indirectly crippled the MRD movement for around about 2 years. It would take 2 years to recover from the hijacking. Then in 1983, the MRD regained enough momentum to reassert itself. But Zia also, since the MRD would likely choose Independent Day against 14 to renew its offensive. So that's why, to cut them off, he announced his own constitutional formula for the restoration of democracy on August 12, 1983, under which a presidential referendum was held on December 1984. Against these referendum, MRD launched a massive procession, boycotted and strikes. The conflict became particularly intense in the rural areas of Sindh province. So Zia sent 45,000 troops for the suppressions, the uprising, and between 60 to 200 people were killed, and up to 15,000 people were arrested. But these referendums was boycotted. The MRD's parties boycotted the referendum, and only 10% of eligible voters participated. So there was a very big problem was created for the government as well as the civilians. And so after that, Zia was compelled to held election. So in 1985 he held election on the basis of non-political parties based election. So in these election, after the election, he nominated Muhammad Khan Junejo as a Prime Minister of Pakistan on 23rd March 1985. So then these assemblies were came into being. So now come to the reading. So personally, Zia was against the existence of political parties. He did not like the political parties, but it is essential for the parliamentary form of government that there should be political parties. Means the parliamentary form of government could not work without political parties. So in the federal and provincial assemblies, the head of the government form their own groups, and like that Junejo also formed his own political parties or group, which is called Pakistan Muslim League Junejo group. It was consisting 190 members out of 237 in a National Assembly. The rest also formed their own independence groups. So the bill for the restoration of political parties was introduced in a National Assembly in November 1985. But remember, in this month, at the same month, in November 1985, 8th Amendment was also approved, passed. So by the National Assembly. Then Senate and enforced after being approved by Ziaul Haq. So this was the process of restoration of political parties, which held in the parliament, and the bill was passed by Zia, Senate and National Assembly. But before passing the bill of restoration of political parties, the Zia passed the 8th Amendment. And 8th Amendment, what is 8th Amendment? 8th Amendment is the amendment of the Constitution of 1973, which is related to Attawan 2B, and it allows the president to unilaterally dissolve the National Assembly of Pakistan and elected a government. These powers included the right expressed in subsection 2B inserted into Article 58 to dissolve the National Assembly, but not the Senate. So this is the 8th Amendment, and the 8th Amendment strengthened the authority of the President, also granted additional powers to dismiss the elected Prime Minister government. So in that way, the restoration of political parties were restored, and a real democratic form of government came into being. Now came to the end of martial law. The end of martial law, on June 1985, the Provincial Assembly on the then North. So if we say on June First, 1985 KPK Assembly passed resolution calling for end of martial law. Then on the same day, Punjab and Balochistan also made the same demand in the assembly. Junaid also demanded the termination of martial law, which created a rift between Prime Minister and the General Zia-ul Haq, which created a rift between Prime Minister and General Zia-ul Haq. Zia-ul Haq agreed to end martial law when a National Assembly passed the 8th Amendment on January 1st, 1986. Martial law was brought to an end. So in that way, the martial law was brought to an end, and before ending martial law, the 8th Amendment was passed. The 8th Amendment, which is meant that all the power were reserved in the hand of president. It was a semi democratic, means semi presidential form of government, and that's why the end of martial law was brought in real senses. But before it, they passed the 8th Amendment. So this is the end of topic.